All right, today we're going to talk about the value of stop listening to your parents. So, number one, I'm a first generation college student. I graduated not too long ago. I actually have a video about what I learned from my experience at Florida State. But number two, my mom grew up in Tennessee and Kentucky, right? We're talking about poverty, drugs, things like that. Not her, though, but I'm just talking about the community that she lived in. And she knows a lot about like restaurants and cleaning, and that's about it. And then my dad grew up in Section 8 Arkansas, and he knows a lot about restaurants, and he became a regional manager and whatnot, and that's all practically he knows. But neither went to college, neither went into like the corporate world. They've been always like 9 to 5 kind of people and stuff like that, and that's all they known for their entire lives. And if you're anyone like me and you want to build something, and in the words of Steve Jobs, you want to create your own little dent within the universe, then you're going to have to learn how to stop listening to your parents. The reason being is because, like, you've developed a sense of familiarity and safety with your parents. And it's understandable because they raised you and you're 18 or 17, 18, 19, 20, however old you are right now. They raised you and they've created a foundation for you. And your brain recognizes that this foundation and environment and the community they have developed for you is a sense of safety, which is not a problem. However, long term, the sense of safety is going to be a sense of danger. And it's going to be a sense of complacency, which you should get away from as fast as possible. You have to get away from that as fast as possible. When you're thinking about cars, when you're thinking about a house, when you're thinking about a job, your first consultation should not be your parents. You should do all the research out there in the world. You should go find people who excel in these fields. You should then bring this information and consult with your parents and then kind of weigh it. But you should not like sit there and listen to them. They bring up a good point, they bring up a good point. They bring up a terrible point, they bring up a terrible point. But you wouldn't know what is a good point versus a terrible point until you make the independent decision to go out there and research and know what's out there in the field. See, that's what most people forget. They consult their parents first, and what their parents tell them is all the information that they gather. It's all the information that they gather, and that's all they're left with, and they continue to make bad decisions. For instance, one of the smartest things that my dad has done is that he doesn't do car notes, right? He doesn't pay monthly for cars. That's not, I'm saying, no, we don't do that around here in that family. But a lot of families do. They get stuck in a $20,000 loan for a car that they're paying for several freaking years with the crazy interest rate. And that passes down generationally because that's what my parents learned, and now they're going to take me to the dealership and then they're going to run my credit at the dealership. No, don't run your credit at the dealership. No, do not get stuck in a loan for a car. That's crazy, right? This is not going to be a car video what you should be doing with your car, but that's insane. That's something you should not be doing. There's other ways to get a car that's much more financially strategic. But there are certain other ideas that they have bad, like they just have bad ideas when it comes to housing or the housing market and how to start and run a business. They just have bad things to say about it because, they're not experienced within the field. They're utilizing non-information that is relevant to what you want to do and trying to apply it to you, and it's not going to mix. It's not going to mix. You have to be the captain of your own life. And you have to go find the information from the people who are excelling within these fields that you want to indulge yourself in, and being able to utilize that knowledge in order to create an individualized and strategic path forward. And this is why not listening to your parents is very important. You have to establish a sense of independency, right? Because as a human being, we're rational animals, right? What this means, right? This is what Aristotle means, right? The animal that possesses the faculty of rationality, which is the original wording of how Aristotle defined, human beings. Rationality means that you have the ability to abstract, conceptualize, integrate ideas, and you have to be able to utilize this in order to survive, in order to live, in order to flourish. Because the accuracy and validity of your ideas is going to directly and translate to the productivity of the life that you're going to have. And the only way that you can be able to ensure a productive life is for you to have accurate ideas. And the way that you can have accurate and validated ideas is by education. If you or anyone like me, you're a first generation college student, or your parents did not grow up in the corporate world, or they didn't start up their business, or they don't, you know what I'm saying? They've been living in poverty for a lot of their childhood. These are, let's be honest, right? We're not sitting here passing moral judgments onto our parents. We're not calling them bad people, but we have to call a spade, which is they do not possess the knowledge necessary in order for you to make the decisions that you need to make in order to craft the path that you want to be able to craft. They just simply do not have that knowledge. Now, their parents, they're older, they're wiser, they may be able to have more abstractions and conceptual clarity, right, in order to provide something. But just because they have the ability to be witty and have things to say on every topic because they have life experience doesn't automatically mean that that knowledge or the information that they pass is accurate and relevant to you. So you have to establish a level of independency. The way you do that, I'm not here to be a life coach, but find a friend that you're extremely comfortable with and that you know very well, because if you guys only bonded through just watching Lakers and basketball, probably he's not the best person to live with. But find a friend that you really know well who's on the same mentality as you. Live with him, split rent, separate yourself from your parents. And being able to genuinely put yourself in a predicament where you have to live and function off of your own ideas is the best thing that you can do. It's the best thing you can do, because you're going to be able to see real hand, holy snap, how I orchestrate and systematize my life and my ideas and the values that I have directly translate to how effective me living life is going to be. You have to put yourself in that fire. You have to say, oh snap, I got to be organized. Oh snap, I gotta set up a Google Calendar. Oh snap, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta research this, I gotta research that, because the status of life that you're gonna have is gonna directly translate to your ability to be effective in the intellectual realm. And the faster that you're able to get into that position, the faster that you're going to be able to sharpen your intellectual tools, and the faster you're going to be able to start mechanizing some ways, that's not a word, but being able to craft some ways in order for you to do the things that you want to be able to do in life. You have to create that level of intellectual and physical separation. And you have to think about it in steps. And if you don't know how to think about it in steps, watch my previous videos, because I break down like how to step by step think about these things, right? The concept of leverage. If you don't know what the concept of leverage is, watch my previous video. It's very important. Concept of leverage is very important. But you have to stop listening to your parents. You just have to. If you want to create your own dent, you can't take their information. Stop it.